our show is called Around Town with Carole. I'm Carole Moore, the host, and I'm very fortunate to be able to pick and choose different topics that really interest me. And I have been very interested in the fair tax movement. I've been interested for over 10 years, and I've met with these gentlemen before at my cafe in Edgewater Park and held some of their meetings here. But I believe that the rest of the public needs to know what a fair tax is. With our president-elect looking at erasing or getting rid of the IRS, there has to be an alternative. So we're here today to talk to two representatives from the fair tax to see exactly what is the fair tax. So I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves so that you'll know who they are, and we'll get on to business.
Thanks for having us on, Carole. My name is Dave Corsi. I am the District 6 Director for the Fair Tax.
And you are?
I'm John O'Rourke from Brick Township, New Jersey. I'm the 3rd District Director, which we are presently in right now for the New Jersey Fair Tax.
And we're in Burlington County here. So is your town in Burlington County as well?
My Brick Township is in Ocean County.
Ocean County, okay. And you're from what
I'm from
town?
Monmouth County, Oceanport.
That's okay. Now, tell us how and when the fair tax movement started.
The Fair Tax movement began early 1990s when a bunch of businessmen down in Texas had gotten together and they used to do a little mastermind with one another. And what happened was one of the members complained about how in his business it seemed like all he was doing was worrying about tax component to his business, how the money is spent, how he has to comply with all these laws. So they said, well, why don't we talk about how to fix the tax code? So they put together a plan and brought together and hired a group of economists to come up with what they thought would be the best tax plan for the country. And that is how the fair tax began. When they came back, they thought they were going to come back with some form of a flat income tax. And they were surprised when the economists came back and said, no, a consumption/sales tax would be the better way to go. And that was the birth of the fair tax.
So you're saying the fair tax really means a consumption tax and a, what was the other thing you said?
Sales/consumption
Sales
tax.
and consumption tax.
On new goods and services.
All right. So now, am I understanding you correctly? Because I'm playing the devil's advocate here. If I can afford to buy a yacht,
Yes.
okay, then I can afford to pay 24% tax on that yacht. If I can afford a $600 pair of Air Jordans, then I can afford the 20% tax or whatever it may be on those. Is that the concept?
Yes, whatever you would be paying a tax based on your new sales, of new purchases of new items. Because used products, it's already construed that you have paid the tax that was built in when you purchased that. So therefore the taxes have been paid, and the American tradition of no double taxation is being honored.
All right. So then when I buy something at the Goodwill store that was already bought by the first consumer, brand new, they paid the tax on it. So then I should not have to pay tax on any item that I buy at a Goodwill store,
Yes, that is
or
true.
at a thrift store, or at a flea market, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
Okay.
And also, what people should know is that houses sold on resale will not pay the fair tax.
Okay, now at present, and I haven't bought or sold anything lately, are you telling me that if you buy a house, you pay tax on it?
If it's new construction, you would pay the tax on it
Okay.
based on that. And a lot of people think, well, gee, that'll make new houses what?
Yeah.
Unaffordable. Not true, because one of the great components, the fair tax is designed to do away with all income taxes, corporate taxes, payroll taxes. That's all done away with. And what would eventually happen, well, not even eventually, would happen rather quickly is prices would reflect that, because all those embedded taxes built into that cost component will be reduced or eliminated. Therefore, a home builder is going to be able to build that house cheaper than he is under the current code. Then the tax will be added on, so the house will still be competitively priced.
So then I buy the house as second owner, I do not pay the tax.
Correct, it was already paid with by the original.
Currently, under the present law, when I buy the house as a second owner, do I pay a tax on it?
No, because
Okay.
we're based on an income tax. Currently, right now, under our current code, no.
Okay.
The owner may have to pay a New Jersey state transfer tax, but that's a state matter, not a federal matter.
Okay.
The fair tax is a federal tax.
Now, the fair tax has been introduced over 20 years ago.
Yes.
Have legislators in DC jumped on the bandwagon, or are they resisting it, and why?
We have approximately, every year, every new Congress has to go back and sponsor the bill. The fair tax bill is H.R. 25. It has been that same number for a number of years. The Senate version is S. 155 this time. That number has changed over the years. Presently, we have 75 sponsors or co-sponsors of the House bill, and we have 8 in the Senate.
So the Senate is dragging their feet.
Yeah.
And so is the House.
So is
We're
the
going to undrag them.
Okay. And now, how do you do this undragging? Do you go to DC? Do you talk with these legislators? Do you try to influence the voting and keeping them in office? And if they don't like the fair tax, then we work on getting them out of office? What exactly is our movement?
There is a very active group within the fair tax that goes to Washington or writes their congressmen, their senators, and discusses with them that we need tax reform. We've had white papers written on it. A white paper is a paper that's written and giving an official position that's presented to members of Congress explaining the value of adding or subtracting some kind of legislation. In our instance, we give them a paper showing the benefits of the fair tax.
And
we
how
have
it would work.
and we have the supporters within there, the 70+ sponsors in Washington, talk to their compadres in the House and in the Senate about supporting the fair tax. So there is a very active group, and with a new administration coming in, those efforts will actually be doubled.
All right. Hold that thought just for a second. We're going to go to a commercial. This is Carole Moore with Radio Vision Network, Around Town with Carole. Don't you leave your seat. A lot is going to happen now with President-elect Trump coming in, having to do with the IRS and the taxes, and it directly affects you. So hold that position, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
My dream job is to run and manage my own spa one day.
To be the general manager for the Jumeirah Hotel in Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
I feel that Merciers has prepared me very well for my future in the hospitality industry.
The kitchen is incredible.
You are planning the meal, doing all the costing and the recipes. You're in charge of everything going on in the kitchen.
They really do get you prepared, and they want to make sure that you have a job after college.
When it comes to injuries,
they're not all created equal.
that's why at Performance Spine and Sports Medicine,
our team of doctors will coordinate and customize your care
to provide the best treatment options using the area's most advanced medical technology,
all with one goal in mind:
to get you back in the game
we call life.
Pain-free,
Drug-free,
surgery-free. That's what we do here at Performance Spine and Sports Medicine.
get better faster.
Stay better longer.
Saving your business money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tanker Consulting Services, a payment solutions expert, will show you how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609-922-0201.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
And welcome back to Radio Vision Network. This is Carole Moore on Around Town with Carole, and we're talking about a way to put more money back in your pocket and keep it there. This is called fair tax, and it is fair because if you are a person who is on welfare, who is getting a subsidy from the state, and you're not paying the taxes taken out of your salary because you don't have a salary, and if you, as a recipient of welfare, are able to afford a $600 pair of Air Jordans, then in fact you can afford the 20% tax, if that be the rate percentage, and if you can afford to have enough finances to go buy a yacht, you can afford the 20-25% tax on the yacht. So that is fair for everybody who is struggling to make ends meet, to keep their utilities bill paid, and to keep them in their house. And we have today two gentlemen from Fair Tax, and it is fair because it gets rid of property taxes, it gets rid of
Not property taxes.
I'm sorry, I
Income
missed it.
taxes.
Income tax and
Corporate taxes.
corporate tax.
Inheritance taxes.
That's the big one,
All kinds
inheritance
of
tax.
payroll tax, FICA, and Social Security.
All taxes on income and investments.
All taxes from income and investments will be not taxed.
Right.
Will be eliminated. It will be replaced with one simple tax. You go to the store, you buy something, you pay the tax, then you're done. No worry about the IRS ever coming to audit you, never having to worry about filing all kinds of paperwork. You're done, you're free. One thing I'd like to mention, what you just stated, for folks, everybody will get what they call a prebate at the beginning of the month. The government figures out what the base level that people will have to spend to meet the necessities of life. You will get a prebate at the beginning of the month that would cover what that would be. For a family of four, it would probably, the basis is based on about $27,000, give or take a few dollars, and that would come out to about $500 to $600 a month. So at the beginning of the month, you would receive a check for that, which would cover the necessities. The idea behind that is for a family that makes $40,000 a year, is it fair for them to have to pay tax on food, which they will, when somebody like Warren Buffett, obviously it would be a much smaller amount. So this way, to make it a level playing field for everyone, their necessities would be met by that prebate.
So now I work 90 hours a week.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I say I work 90 hours a week,
Yes.
okay? And I am still going to get a 500 or such subsidy,
Yes, you will.
and Warren Buffett is going to get it as well.
Yes. The idea is because people say, well, why give it to Warren Buffett? Because once we do start breaking up the tax, saying, well, we'll exempt this one, we'll exempt that one, that's how we ended up with our current code, which is over 70,000 pages full of loopholes and special interests. By doing it this way, we're telling the politicians, keep your hands off, do not touch it, everybody's on a level playing field. Warren Buffett obviously will spend a lot more money per year than somebody making $40,000, so he will pay a lot more taxes every year than they do. So it is very fair in that way as well.
It is fair in that way because someone who has the extra money of Warren Buffett or other people that are in the ultra rich,
Yes.
they will be buying services. They will be
Yes.
buying commodities. They will be buying, as I said, yachts and boats and Cadillacs and everything else, and they'll be paying it there. So
Absolutely.
actually, they will be paying more than the average Joe who
By
buys
far.
the name brand. I don't buy name brand stuff, I buy
Right.
store brand stuff. And so,
And they will gladly pay it because it's an item they want. Why do we earn money? To consume. Ultimately, the ultimate form of why you earn money is to consume it in one form or another, whether it's through investment or actually buying a product you use. And the beauty of the fair tax is you get to choose, not some politician in Washington. I'm sure you recall when Bill Clinton went to Buffalo, New York after the impeachment trial and said, "We'd like to give you your money back, but we don't know if you would spend it the right way." Think about how
wow.
scary that is.
that is very
Instead,
scary.
we want to go back to the people. Who am I to decide how people spend their money? I don't have the right to do that. And neither does a politician. So under the fair tax, the power goes back to the people.
So now we're going to be getting rid of the IRS, and we're going to be implementing something like the
Well,
fair tax.
either getting rid of the IRS or limiting their scope where they can no longer be terrorizing
So
the average
who is
American.
going to be sending out these $500 checks every month? We
Through
need
the government
another
services.
government agency?
Well,
'Cause
Basically,
definitely we don't need any more big government.
the same way you do Social Security could be a very similar program. Could actually be pretty efficient. It doesn't have to be a big thing. And to be honest, we're not sure if you would. I mean, there's talk about getting rid of the IRS, not getting rid of it. The idea is to make it an efficient tax gathering thing where they're not going around threatening people. Well, we think your home office is not properly being deducted, or challenging people, or have 70,000 pages of loopholes. We're trying to do away with that. The fair tax is 130 pages. That is it.
Now, when I travel in Europe, I pay the VAT tax, value added tax.
Right.
What is different from the fair tax as opposed to the value added tax?
The value added tax, in some cases, is kind of like a hidden tax. It's a tax at each stage of production, and it just gets added on. You don't see it at the whereas the fair tax, you pay it only at the retail counter, and therefore, like, it's not hidden.
Nothing's embedded.
Everybody will see on their sales receipt the amount of tax they paid, all the way. Instead of having it like one stage of production, like say a farmer makes the wheat, he then sells it to the baker. The baker then
Puts
pays
it into bread and
right.
sells
and
it.
And then what happens is each stage the tax is added on. Whereas with the fair tax, none of those stages is taxed only at the retail counter.
And what
There's not all those
percentage
hidden
are
embedded
you
taxes.
talking about?
Under
What
the fair
are you
tax?
thinking under fair
Okay,
tax?
the easiest way to explain it is if you purchased a coat for $100, the coat, there would be a 30% tax put on it, so it would be 130. Now, if you recall, we mentioned under the corporate taxes are being eliminated. Therefore, the price of that coat would go from 100 go down because embedded taxes are being removed, and if you have market competition, it will go to $90.
I see
So
that.
now you would be paying 30% of 90, which is $27. So the coat would cost you $90 plus the fair tax of $27 would cost you $117.
Very good.
We compare that to the current way where somebody to buy a $100 coat generally has to earn somewhere between $125 and $130 because they get a net check, their gross check with the deductions. So they would have to actually earn about $125 to $130.
To afford that coat.
Exactly right. So we say, wouldn't it be better for you to get 100% of your paycheck? If you earn $1,000 a week, you get $1,000 minus whatever state taxes are taken out. And for the average person who earns $1,000 a week, they would come with the fair tax. You would get a check for $940 every week. Under the current code, you probably get around $700 to $725.
So we're going
That's
to be
a big
saving about
difference.
$200
Right.
for every pay. Hold that thought. We're going to go to commercial. Carole Moore here from Around Town with Carole, Radio Vision Network. We're talking the fair tax, and it definitely affects you personally. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Choosing the right fence for your home or business is an important decision to make. Choose Anello Fence for peace of mind. Our family has manufactured and installed beautiful maintenance-free fence for over 50 years. We provide vinyl, aluminum, and wood fence in a wide variety of styles and colors, including chain link fence for commercial and residential. Call or visit our indoor showroom and ask for Steve Anello and see how 4 generations of combined experience mean that you'll get quality and service that can't be matched by any other fencing company, period. Call Anello Fence today for a free estimate.
Graduates of our university end up going places. Same goes for our students. Because while our campus may be a launchpad for bigger and better things, it's also a prime destination filled with sights, sounds, and some pretty good eats. So, while you're preparing to take on the world is right outside your door. Wayne State University. Aim higher.
Love my style and I'm dancing tonight. My smile from pearly white side. Love myself, love myself, love my style, pearly white. Love your smile. From teens to grown-ups braces, they can change your life. All ages and all faces. Your smile from pearly white. Love yourself, love your style, pearly white. Love your smile.
High-achieving students. Internationally renowned faculty. And award-winning alumni. A 226-year history of excellence and a beautiful urban campus. The University of Pittsburgh.
Solano Community College transformed my life.
And gave me the opportunities I needed to succeed.
I received the same university caliber education.
Without the pressures of debt holding me back. Affordable and flexible. I fulfilled my undergraduate classes.
Getting to the information I truly have a passion for.
The decision to attend SCC empowered my future.
And made my dream of attending Yale University a reality. Solano Community College, the educated choice.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Carole Moore here with Around Town with Carole, and we're talking fair tax. And we're not leaving you out of the loop, so here we go. Tell us a little bit about bringing the jobs back. How does that work?
Well, with the elimination of the corporate income tax and the payroll tax, products will cost a lot less. So the fair tax becomes what we call border adjustable. You'll be able to sell, the manufacturers will be able to sell their products overseas now without that tax component in it, and they'll be able to compete more successfully. As with also with the elimination of the payroll tax, Mr. Trump is talking about bringing jobs back to America. Made in America will be all over the place because corporations will now bring the jobs back. The corporate probably build their next plant here. You'll have foreign countries decide that with the no corporation income tax just to build their plant in the United States. I think the economy will flourish with the fair tax. Made in America will appear again.
And it is a win-win situation. There'll be more money in your pocket. Corporations will not have to pay this extravagant tax. They'll be able to make their product cheaper, okay, so that we can buy the product. And as you said, not only will they build factories here in this country, but we have people around the world that corporations who can come into America, build factories, which means more jobs, more jobs, more jobs. Now, before we get out of here, how do we get in touch with you? What do you have plans for the future? I hope Donald Trump is listening. Donald, we need you in on this. Fair tax is the way to go. Give us the opportunity. Call us up. We'll be happy to come down and meet you in D.C. tell us how anybody gets in touch.
Okay, well, on the internet, www.fairtax.org, that's the national organization, and John, you can talk about the
Right,
state.
and the email address, if you want to contact anybody in New Jersey, is fairtaxnj@usa.com. That's fairtaxnj@usa.com.
I'd like to mention the email that John had just given. If anyone has a meeting, has a group, and they're looking for a speaker to come talk to their group, absolutely free of charge, the Fair Tax New Jersey is happy to provide someone, again, free of charge. We'll be happy to come out and talk to your group, any size.
We have some people in the Trump administration. The Vice President-elect, Mike Pence, was a co-sponsor of the fair tax when he was in the House. Governor Huckabee, who seems to have an influential part in the administration, you've heard him in his campaign. He spoke very favorably about the fair tax. We think we have some inside people there which can get this, and I think if they hear from you, they'll certainly listen.
So send your cards and letters to Vice President and the President-elect so that they will realize that the public is aware of what the fair tax is. The public thinks that it's going to really work, bringing jobs back, bringing corporations back so they don't have to pay that corporate tax.
And Carole, the fair tax will end this notion that your paycheck, your pension check, your Social Security check, that belongs first to the federal government. Then after they take the payroll tax or the income tax out, then you can have the rest. Fair tax, you get the whole thing.
So you're going to be working 40 hours a week, and you're going to be putting that money in your pocket, not in the federal government's pocket first, okay? Right. And when you get finished paying your electric bill, your water bill, your sewer bill, your mortgage, then if you have money left over, then you're going to go out and buy the things that are not necessary. The things that you want, the extraordinary things that you really wouldn't be able to afford now, but you will be able to afford them then because of this fair tax. It's a win-win situation. We just have to get the public to know and to write letters, send emails, and telephone DC, let them know the fair tax is the way to go. What else can you tell me?
One other very important point we should make is, under the fair tax, everybody would have skin in the game. Everyone, 320 million Americans, tourists, everyone will pay the tax. Right now, roughly half the country, 150 million tax returns are filed every year. Under the fair tax, everybody is paying. So now everybody will have a vested interest in how their money is spent. It is a much better way to go and brings freedom to everyone.
Carole, we have 12 Congress members in the state of New Jersey. We've interviewed quite a few of them. My present congressman is Congressman Tom MacArthur in the 3rd District here. He's been interviewed. He has to hear from you that you want the fair tax because he's concerned about being reelected. And
so you, the fair tax boys, you guys can introduce the product of fair tax to these legislators, but it is the public. It is you folks out there who are going to be directly impacted by this. You must get on the horn and call and email and text your legislators that the fair tax is the way to go because you want to keep more money in your pocket and you don't want the government to be able to take its share first before you have a choice to say where I want to spend my money. And that's what this fair tax is all about. So we need you, the general public, jump in, get involved, speak up, because it's going to put more money in your pocket. It's going to bring more jobs here to America. It's going to bring more corporations into America to build their plants in our hometowns. Fair tax is the way to go. It is up to you to get active and get involved. And if you need a program for your men's club, your women's club, any organization, they'll come out absolutely free, give a whiz-bang program. I've had them out to several of my organizations, and I think it's wonderful. And I thank you guys for coming on today with me with the fair tax. And the rest of you, go tell a neighbor you just learned about fair tax. And this is Carole Moore on Radio Vision Network, Around Town with Carole, signing off for now, but we'll come back soon. Keep us tuned in. Have a good day.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
My dream job is to run and manage my own spa one day.
To be the general manager for the Jumeirah Hotel in Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
I feel that Mercier has prepared me very well for my future in the hospitality industry.
The kitchen is incredible.
You are planning the meal, doing all the costing and the recipes. You're in charge of everything going on in the kitchen.
They really do get you prepared, and they want to make sure that you have a job after college.
When it comes to injuries,
they're not all created equal.
That's why at Performance Spine and Sports Medicine,
our team of doctors will coordinate and customize your care
to provide the best treatment options using the area's most advanced medical technology.
All with one goal in mind.
To get you back in the game.
We call life.
Pain-free.
Drug-free.
Surgery-free. That's what we do here at Performance Spine and Sports Medicine.
Get better faster.
Stay better longer.
Saving your business money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tanker Consulting Services, a payment solutions expert, will show you how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609-922-0201.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
You already know that Voice over IP or VoIP is smart for business. But what's the smartest way to make the switch? Introducing Encero's Utility VoIP. Encero is a full-service provider, which means we're there for everything you need. From installing your system to comprehensive on-site training for your staff to providing world-class service, Encero is there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At Encero, we've worked hard to engineer a better voice solution. We create a utility VoIP solution customized for you from the ground up. Our process starts with a readiness check, grooming of the network to support VoIP, and carrier upgrades for optimal bandwidth. We take the time to set up your VoIP the right way.